Are you struggling to overcome the overwhelming thoughts that keep pulling you down in life? Have you ever been stuck in your thoughts and felt like there was no way out? Well, we have compiled some of Sadhguru's eye-opening speeches that will serve as your guide to mastering your way of thinking. In this video, Sadhguru will talk about how to overcome anxiety, how to deal with negative thoughts and emotions, how to stop your mind from overthinking, and how you can improve your focus. So, are you desperately looking for inner peace and joy in life? Let's not hold ourselves back. Let's watch the entire video.
If your mind took instructions from you, would you create anxiety? No. So don't look for answers elsewhere. It is just that your own physiology and your psychological patterns not taking instructions from you. So you said so many things, I try, whatever these big words are floating all over California particularly, about surrendering to it, about letting it go, about… Not for one person has such a thing worked, ever. Even a simple cold does not go, you say go, does it go? Let's not get into this fanciful states of surrendering, these are all words thrown around. Nobody knows what is surrender, because when it happens, you will not know it has happened. Essentially, as I said, you have not read the user's manual of how this works. We need to pay attention to this. The system is made in such a way, if you hold your hand like this, it'll work one way. If you do like this, it'll work another way. If you do like that, it'll work another way. It's a phenomenal process. It's too sophisticated. It's a phenomenally complex machine. One needs to pay a certain level of attention to be able to use it for what it is designed for. Otherwise, it'll get itself messed up. Now, there may be many factors, there may be genetic factors, there may be sociological factors, there may be growing up issues, various things. But do not ascribe your problems to any of those things. The important thing is just this: you are not able to have your mind the way you want it. That's the only problem you have, isn't it? The moment you ascribe it, I'm like this because my father was like that, I'm like this because my grandfather's genetics were not okay, you're finished. Because we can't change those guys now. You can't choose a different father or a different grandfather now, it's over. But you can transform this. You must understand, still it doesn't matter you have anxiety disorder. Still, if you put a piece of carrot, there is an intelligence here which can transform a carrot into a human being. That means every day a new body is being manufactured within you, isn't it? When the very source of creation is functioning within you and a new human being is constantly being created, if you take little charge of that, you can create an entire new physiological and psychological process. Well, last year, we were trekking in Tibet. I was in a tent, I was doing some work, and another person was cutting an apple. One of these porcelain knives these days. So the other person around says to this person, "It's a very sharp knife, be careful." It irritates me a bit. Look like this, because he's a grown man. If he's a child, it's different. Then we have to watch how he uses the knife. It's a full-grown man, and a knife is supposed to be sharp. If it's not sharp, why do you call it a knife? So I ignored it and continued to work. In another 2 minutes, she says again, "It's a very sharp knife, be careful." I said, "Come on, he's a full-grown man, leave him alone, he knows how to use this knife. This stupid knife can't he handle? It's not some earth-moving machinery or spacecraft or something that he doesn't know how to handle. It's a knife." She says, "No, Sadhguru, it's a very sharp knife." All right. And I continue what I'm doing. In another 2 minutes, she whispers to him, "Please be careful, very sharp." And in another 2 minutes, he cuts his finger. Then I give up, okay. This is all that's happening. This is all that's happening with life. You have an intellect for which you don't have a stable enough platform. Or in other words, you have a sharp knife, a very sharp knife a very sharp knife in your hand, but your hand is not steady. Please see, it's your own mind which is causing all this pain, isn't it? So you have a very sharp knife, the sharper it is, the more you cut yourself. So we don't have to blunt the knife, we just have to have a steady hand. Nothing has been done about that. People are trying to blunt the knife with all these sedatives and nonsense. What you take is to blunt the knife. Blunting the knife is not the answer, because if you lower the possibilities of who you are, everything will be okay. But that's not what we're looking for. What a human being is looking for is to become limitless in some way. And if this has to happen, you have to create a steady platform. What inner engineering means, what yoga means is just this. When I say yoga, being in California, don't imagine all those impossible postures. The word yoga literally means union. This is the first form of union. Your right and left. This is called as Pingala and Ida in yoga, the masculine and the feminine within you. Just put it together, just do the simple sadhana, all of you. You can't do any other yoga, this much you can do, isn't it? What you do is something that concerns your life. It could be the sun coming up. Sun is coming up. Without sun coming up, you wouldn't exist on this planet, isn't it? The warmth of life is going on within you only because the sun comes up. Without the tree exhaling oxygen and you exhaling in carbon dioxide for it and this exchange happening, you wouldn't be alive, isn't it? Like this, look at it, the food that you eat, the sun, the earth that you walk upon, air that you breathe, water that you drink, people who live around you, whatever, you choose anyone. Just do this. Put your right and left together perfectly, not like this, perfectly, okay? Just look at something that really matters to you. Maybe the sun, maybe the sky, maybe the cloud, maybe a tree, maybe a person, maybe a child, an animal, it doesn't matter what. Just look at it, putting your hands together for 10–12 minutes at a stretch. You will see half your anxiety will start settling down. Because essentially the conflict is, there are two dimensions within you. To put it simply, even in modern medical science is telling you there's a right brain and a left brain, all right? Just put these two things together. Look at with utmost love and appreciation towards something that matters to you. It could be your wife, it could be your husband, it could be your child, a tree, a dog, sky, sun, moon, whatever. Every one of them are vital for your life, isn't it so? Whatever you can relate to. Putting these two things together, just look at them with utmost pleasantness that you can generate, recognizing how important they are for you. Many things will change. This is the first form of yoga. If I do this, it'll become difficult. And there are many ways to do namaskar, like this, like that, like that. This is the most simple thing. Start here, okay? You can simply sit. If you learn to simply sit, you'll become tremendously intense. Right now, your energy is simply expended by doing unnecessary, endless activity. When you have so much mental diarrhea, how can you have energy? Suppose you have diarrhea, do you see how weak you feel? Right now this mental diarrhea, that's why people have no energy. They want to just eat and sleep all the time, because mental diarrhea, it's very exhausting. If you have physical diarrhea, you know how exhausting it is. This is also equally exhausting. People are sleeping 8 hours, 10 hours a day, not because they're working so much or their body is in such a bad state, it's just mental diarrhea. If you stop the mental diarrhea, there's enough energy to make this very, very intense. Now how do I stop mental diarrhea? If you have diarrhea, physical diarrhea, as a corrective measure, what is the first thing you do?
First thing is, stop eating, right? Diarrhea means in some way we've eaten something that the body doesn't want. It's trying to throw it out. You've taken something inside which the body doesn't like. It wants to throw it out. First thing is, stay away from food for some time. You eat bad food and then try to stop diarrhea, it's not going to work. So similarly, bad food for the mind is just this. You have gotten identified with things that you are not. The moment you get identified with things that you are not, mental diarrhea is inevitable. It's bad food for the mind. Now it will run endlessly, do what you want. You do any damn meditation, you say Shiva, Rama, it's not going to stop. It's not stopped, isn't it? Because bad food is being eaten every day, you're getting identified with more and more things and you want to stop your mind, you do whatever kind of circus, it is not going to stop. If you disidentify with everything, if you understand what is you and what is not you, if you keep a little distance from that, mind will become still. If you want, you can use it, otherwise you can keep it. Now my hand is there, if I want I can move it, otherwise I can keep it. This is a useful hand. Suppose it starts jumping like this. You clearly know there is some kind of an ailment, isn't it? So if hand is jumping, you know it's an ailment. If mind is jumping, is it an ailment or no? The ailment has come because continuous wrong diet. You tell your mind that I am this, I am this, I am that, I am that. It's having diarrhea. You stop giving it wrong food. Even if you do not know what is me, at least you know what is not me, isn't it? This much you do. Tonight before you go to bed, sit on your bed and discount everything that is not you. This house in which you're living, is this me? No. This loving parent or mother, father, wife or husband or child, they're wonderful, but is this me? No. Now these nice clothes I'm wearing, is this me? No. Now my body, I like it, but is this me? No. Now I'm having so many thoughts, is this me? No. Now I'm having wonderful emotions, is this me? No. Like this, everything that's not you, before you sleep, keep it down and go to bed. Tomorrow morning, you will wake up considerably more intense than today. Every day you do it, in a little while, if you simply sit here, things around you will reverberate. The only sadhana that I did in my life is, right from my very early age, though I was very actively involved with everybody around me, I never identified myself with my parents or my siblings or my endless number of friends or the society or the religion or the country or anything around me. Never identified. Not that I was not involved, I was very involved, very active. Even today I'm very active and involved, but not identified. If you don't identify with anything, there is enough energy in this to become intense. See, I want you to understand, your life energy right now in this body, how many things it's doing here as you're sitting here? Do you know the complexity of activity it is doing? Every cell in the body, your liver, your kidney, your damn spleen, and all kinds of stupid things that we cannot even figure even today. Yes? Just see as you sit here, how many things this energy is doing. Obviously it must be intense to do all this. You are not able to experience it because of diarrhea. When you have diarrhea, that's how you feel, isn't it? So that's how it is. Stop the diarrhea. Stop eating bad food, diarrhea will stop. Once diarrhea stops, there's enough energy in this to sit here and reverberate in a very intense way.
It is a fact that we have the most evolved neurological system compared to a worm, insect, bird, animal, anybody. But we also have a psychological process. Whatever your psychological process, your thought and emotion, is only happening because of a certain amount of information that you gather. The type of information you gathered determines the type of thought and type of emotion that you have, isn't it? To understand, your psychological process is entirely your drama. It's got nothing to do with reality. Your psychological drama has nothing to do with the reality here. Because psychological process is just a small drama which has gotten magnified simply because you've gotten so identified with it. It's like this. People always come up to me and say, Sadhguru, I want to meditate, but the thoughts are coming. I ask them, see, I will teach you another kind of meditation where your kidney function will stop, your liver function will stop, your heart function will stop. Are you interested? No. Then what, you want your brain function to stop? Why? See, when you sit and meditate, your kidney is functioning, liver is functioning, heart is functioning, you have no issue. Only if your brain functions, you have a problem. Why is that? Because you are not so identified with your kidney function, but you're super identified with your thought process and emotion. Because you're so identified with it, you think it's you. Because of that, now it has obliterated your experience of life. Only with brain function you have a problem because of the identification you have. You have misunderstood your thought to be you, isn't it? Whatever your thought is, you think it's you. But your thought is coming from a certain information that you gathered from outside, isn't it? What type of information you gather is not all by choice. If you walk in the street, everything that you see, hear, smell, taste and touch gets recorded in your mind, you can't help it. What goes into you as information is not all in your hands, isn't it so? 90% is not in your hands. Simply it's happening all the time because everything that you sense through five sense organs is just getting into you and recorded. There is no good, bad, ugly in this, it's just information. Now, by your recognition, you say, oh, this is nice and it becomes good. You say this is nasty and it becomes bad. You say this is horrible and then it becomes ugly. This is your doing, but information is simply pouring in and recorded. What you gather, whatever you gather, it can be yours, it cannot be you, isn't it? Whatever you accumulate can never ever be you. If this becomes a living experience for you, that what you have accumulated in the form of food and in the form of information, you clearly know this is not me, then you will become like me, simply looking at life as it is, without being influenced by anything, without being identified with anything. Simply life. Is that true? Fundamentally, you're just a life. Then you gathered a certain body, so we called you a man. Then you gathered some kind of stuff in you, so we called you this, that and everything. But essentially, are you just life? And is that the most important thing right now, that you're alive right now is the most important thing in your life, is that so? But unfortunately, that's not in focus. Today, what I'm thinking has become more important than me being alive, isn't it? My little emotion has become more important than that I'm alive right now. See, today morning sun came up on time. Suppose sun doesn't come up tomorrow, what will happen? In 18 hours, everything that you know as life on this planet will be gone. Just now I gave you a fantastic information. Sun came up on time today morning and planet is spinning on time. No accidents in the solar system, one planet did not clash into another, all are sticking to their lanes. In the entire universe, not a single accident, everything is going fantastic in the universe and in the larger cosmos. But one nasty little thought is crawling in your head and it's a bad day. Everything in the cosmos is going great. One nasty little thought, it's a bad day, isn't it? The problem is we have lost perspective as to who we are. In this cosmos, this solar system is a speck. Tomorrow morning if the entire solar system evaporates, nobody will notice it. In that speck, planet Earth is a micro speck. This is your psychological drama, exaggerating things to a point where you think if you have one bad thought, the whole world is ruined. Because we've gotten identified with the thoughts that we generate, with the emotions that we create, not understanding it's our prerogative to create the kind of thought we want, the kind of emotion we want. If you created the kind of thought you want and the kind of emotion you want, would you not do the best sort of thoughts and the best kind of emotion that a human being is capable of? Right now, our own intelligence has turned against us. The problem is not anywhere else, the problem is just that we have lost control over our psychological drama because the existential drama of life is not in our experience. Our psychological drama is like a cloud blocking up the sun. We don't experience life, we only experience thoughts, emotions, ideas, prejudices and all the rubbish that we can generate. Instead of living in the Creator's creation, we are living in our own petty creation, that's the big thing. I didn't create anything, so I am here in this world. Ancient societies always saw disease as something wrong. A human being should not be in any state of illness, illness means something fundamentally wrong. But modern societies have started treating this as normal because there's an industry which thrives on you.
Sadhguru, namaskaram. You mentioned in your previous discourses that 30% of the illnesses are body, while the rest are mind-created. I just want to know, in case you do get an illness, how do you know that it's mind-created or it's of the body?
Suppose your right hand gets up and does funny things and smashes you, pokes your eyes, do you have an ailment or no? Yes, isn't it? For sure you have. That's exactly what your mind is doing. So, because this sickness is on, it will manifest in so many ways in the physical body. There is no question anymore. Every thought, every reverberation on the level of the mind, depending upon the type of reverberation you create, the whole chemistry is going through a change. It's all been measured. Right now you sit here and think about tigers, you have one kind of chemistry, chemical changes happen. You think about flowers, another kind of chemical change happens. All this has been measured. So for every thought, if the whole chemistry is going through thing, if your mind is in this state, you know what kind of soup you're making? You're a lousy soup. Not just lousy, poisonous. If you're soaked in this poisonous soup on a daily basis, how to know well-being? It'll not happen like that. We don't have so much control today in the world as to what we eat, what we drink, what we breathe, all of it is somewhat poisoned. Modern societies have started treating disease, ailment as a natural process, which is a serious mistake. Ancient societies always saw disease as something wrong. That's not how a man should be. The second largest industry on the planet is pharmaceuticals. So, there's too much lousy soup. Every day you have to add something to this to make it… No, if you're willing, we can make this into a very wonderful soup. The chemistry is in a fantastic state. To be blissful is natural. If you do this, believe me, 70% of the ailments will vanish from the planet. Another 30%, there are many external influences which are not always in control. You cannot control that, only to some extent. So, if you're constantly creating a nasty chemistry within you, how is life within you supposed to understand you're seeking well-being? Life within you thinks, he likes ailments and gives it to you. If you're poisoning your system from within, for which there is substantial proof, for every thought and emotion, the chemical composition of your body is changing, if you're creating poison from within you, and you want to live well. How is it? Life doesn't work like that. Unless you do right things will not happen to you.
Instead of saying focus, if you use the word attention, would you agree that attention and focus are about the same thing? When you say focus, it's just like focusing a light on something means only a focus is always a spot. Attention can be much more widespread. I'm having problems seeing the young man because you kept him in darkness there in the hall But if the hall was well lit, I don't have to focus myself to see the people who are sitting here. I just need attention. If I'm attentive, I will see all the people here the way they are. But now I get interested in this one young man, then I need focus. If I had only focus without the general attention about everything around me, indiscriminate attention I'm talking about, attention not even about something, just being attentive, only because there is a certain level of attention and awareness within you, you even know that you exist. Otherwise, let's say in sleep, in your experience, neither the world exists nor you exist, all that's happened is there is no attention. Because there is no attention, there is no perception of any kind. So first thing is attention, that there is a general grasp of everything. Then there is a particular interest. Then we focus it down to that particular interest. So what is the purpose or what is the definition of focus? What is the use of focus? Where can focus get us? We are focusing on something only because our attention is not keen enough. If our attention was very keen, you would not need to focus on anything. In the yogic systems, we have what is called as dashavadanis, shatavadanis. What this means is, a man will do 10 things at the same time, another man will do 100 things at the same time. This is, he will articulate a particular musical raga, at the same time he will calculate a very complex arithmetic problem, at the same time he will write poetry, at the same time like this he will do 10 things or 100 things. There are people like this. You can either use that to just be a stage performer, or you can just use it in your life, you're an entrepreneur. It's very important, if you're walking on the street, you're able to see something that most other people cannot see. That is when you become a leader, because you are able to see things others are yet to see. That is when you take up a leadership position, because essentially leadership means you're on a perch. Once you're on a perch, you must see better than others. So attention is that dimension which will put you on that perch. If your attention has to be very keen about everything, then you should stop discriminating in terms of, I like this person, I don't like this person, this is good, this is bad, this is nice, this is not nice, this is useful, this is not useful. If you do not make any kind of discrimination, you just work on your attention, not about being attentive about something, just being super attentive, not about anything. See, right now if you increase the voltage in this hall where you're sitting, when light comes on, light is not thinking in terms of whom should I focus on. When light comes on, everything that is there in that room will be seen. This is important. This is a very important aspect of yogic process is that we go on working on our attention, that we keep on keying up our attention to a higher and higher level, a higher and higher voltage and intensity. Now, we don't encourage focus because focus means consolidate all that attention and put it on one person. Suppose you invested your entire focus on one spot and you found nothing worthwhile in that spot, what will you do at the end of your life? This is what is happening to most lives. You just work on making your attention itself so keen that even if somebody focuses on something, they won't be that keen. If your attention is that keen, you won't miss a thing in this universe. When you don't miss a thing, everybody thinks you're some kind of a superhuman being. No, this is not about being superhuman. This is about realizing being human itself is super. If you cultivate your attention, we can give you very dynamic processes through which you can scale up your attention to a higher and higher level. How clearly you see determines how successfully you walk this life, there's no question about it. How much lack of clarity there is in you, that much blundering you will do in your life. Simply there is no question about this. First of all, work towards cultivating this attention. First thing is you stop your sense of discriminatory looking, that you don't look at this person, oh, this is a man, this is a woman, this is the dog, this is that. Simply pay attention without any judgment. If you just pay attention to anything and everything without any judgment, you will see, if you just pay attention to an ant, there are phenomenal things. So, attention, raising the bar of attention is more important than focus. For immediate purposes, if you need to focus on something, you can. But right now you can do a simple experiment. If you sit with your face slightly upturned like this and close your eyes, you will see naturally there'll be a focus between your eyebrows. But you can be conscious of many things, people around you, your breath, the sensations in your body. You can be conscious of everything and still be focused. So mental focus is a limited possibility, but enhancement of attention that ultimately delivers you to a space where you become conscious, or in other people's words, super conscious. It's just conscious, but people think you're super conscious. Because of this, you grasp everything as it is. The most important thing for this is that your mind is not functioning like a prism, distorting things and creating designs where they don't exist. Your mind has become like a plain mirror, it just shows everything just the way it is. Only when you see everything just the way it is, you will have the ability to handle everything sensibly, otherwise you make a mess out of many things.
The human mind is one of the most valuable gifts we are given in this life. It has brought so many great things to this world, yet it is so capable of destroying itself and its body. Therefore, you should not only know its full potential, but also understand how its mechanism works to bring blissfulness and greatness into your life. Click on the video shown to see more from us. Then, share your thoughts in the comments section. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.